3D Tramp from Lady and the Tramp Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you the second half of my Lady and Tramp series. This one will be for Tramp. And this is a really fun, it's actually a fairly quick little series that's slightly 4D because you can pull the thread and pull them together. I hope you guys like this. If you did happen to miss Lady, I will put a link to her video in the description box below, so check that out. And don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well.
I'm going to begin with an overlay of a medium blue acrylic. I would do, no matter what color you used for the lady nail, I would make sure that you use the same color for the tramp. So you can, mix it up and do whatever you'd like, but just make sure that they are the same so it looks like the nail is a continuous picture from one to the next. Then I'm going to encase it with a layer of clear acrylic to make sure that it is nice and strong. Just like so. Make sure that you fill over the entire thing. I know that my shimmery blue acrylic, if you end up filing it, it loses its shimmer quality. So you want to make sure that it is protected by that layer of clear. And then I'm going to be filing it into shape with my E-file, going over it with a coarse bit and then a fine bit to make sure it's nice and smooth. And now I'm going to start sculpting Mr. Tramp. So I began with gray acrylic and I'm going to sculpt kind of like a soft rounded square, I suppose you could say, for his face. And then I'm going to be adding just a little bit of his neck. Not like the full width of his neck because there is some white, but just like a little hint of it. And then the top little beginning section of his ears. So as I'm doing this, a lot of times when you're sculpting things with acrylic, you want to let little bits of what you're working on set at a time. So if you guys have ever watched my 3D stuff and it seems like I jump from one thing to the next and I kind of go back and forth, it's because I'm giving it some time to set up, so I'm not going to mess something up working right next to it, and I give everything a chance to kind of complete itself before I try to mess it up in any way. But just add, after you have that done, you can add like the floppy part of the ear coming down, and then I'm going to start working on his muzzle with some white acrylic and try to blend it up a little bit because it's not very defined sections between the white and the gray, especially on the bridge of his nose. So you don't want to have these sharp lines necessarily. You just want to kind of, after you have them, just blend them out a little bit. Same thing on his neck. I don't know if you could tell I blended that some. And then I'm going to be adding his chin, like so. Same thing like what I did with the lady nail. You don't have to worry about really connecting it all the way up where the spaghetti is going to go in because you're going to get rid of that acrylic anyway. So you can be a little bit skimpy there, I suppose. I'm going to add some white highlights right around the eyes. You can also do that if you have like a shimmery white or a color that isn't as bright of a white, or you can just use thin white acrylic too. That would work. And I missed this part, but you're going to want to sculpt his nose with black and his eyebrows with black. And you're going to take your E-file with a really thin bit and drill a hole through his mouth where the spaghetti will go in. And now with black paint, I'm going to start my outlines. So just go through anywhere that you see fit, anywhere you think there needs to be an outline, especially areas where it's the same color next to each other, but it's different sections of his face, like between his ears and his head. You want to make sure that you do outline all of those areas so that you can see all of those lovely details that you spent so much effort on sculpting really will show up better that way. Just go through here and there and do everything that you need to. You're also going to want to do the outlines around his eyes to make sure that his eyes show up really well. Any of those places that really you want to be able to see, and I know that I've said this before, but when I am doing a nail, I want somebody to be able to see it quick. I want it to be something that they don't have to think too hard about, because when you're got a really cool design on your nails, people see it in a glimpse. You hand over your credit card to pay for your groceries and they see it for a split second, and if they don't see anything that's interesting, they're not going to think about it. But if they see something like, oh wait, I think that's Lady and the Tramp, they're gonna, a lot of times they'll be like, oh my goodness, can I see your nails? And that's kind of what you want. I mean, if you have cool things on your nails, you want to have people look at it. So you want things to be really easily recognizable and be able to be seen in a glimpse so that you have an opportunity to share them with people. So anyways, I like to do outlines for that reason, so that they're easier to define and to quickly depict what's on your nails when you just see them for a second. Add whites in his eyes, highlights on his nose, some brown in his eyes for the iris, and just keep going with all of those details. Keep adding a little bit of pink in his ear. You could have done that with the acrylic in the beginning as well, with just like a little hint of some pink acrylic in the ear. But sometimes, that's one thing that I actually normally would do. I'd add the color in the ears with acrylic instead of with paint. But you can, switch things up and do them however you like. Little highlights in his eyes, and then apply some gel sealer over the background. Cure that. After that's done, go ahead and apply some matte top coat over Tramp, and then you're going to take a piece of beige thread, whatever kind of spaghetti you want, and I'm going to be tying a little bead onto one end of it. So just take a bead any color and tie a double knot. If you want to secure your knot with some little bit of nail glue or super glue or whatever you have, go ahead and do that. If you feel it and it doesn't seem like it's going to untie, you don't really have to worry about that. But then you're going to take your other end of the thread and you're going to string that from the back through the mouth so that the bead is on the underside of the nail. And then you're all done. After you finish lady and you have both of the nails tied off with the beads, you can pull the string and you can make them eat the spaghetti until they kiss. Oh, it's so cute. I hope you guys like it as much as I do, and don't forget to share any recreations with me on Facebook or Instagram. I would love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!